Howdy all, I'm Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and today, guys, I just want to have a short conversation with you. Something bouncing around in my little nerd head as we watch everything that we have known to once be great now fail. And I'm just going to ask this question, and we're going to explore it with a few examples for the next few minutes. Has any of the franchises that have been trashed, damaged, destroyed by modern day politics, agenda shoved into everything, have any of these franchises managed to survive? It's a question I'm going to ask you guys. And when I say franchises, I'm talking the major ones for the past, let's just say, 60 years. You go all the way back to the beginning. We could put Doctor Who in this category. Then we could put Star Trek in this category. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we could maybe throw in there DC, but they never really got anything going, so we're going to kind of ignore them for the moment. But I ask you these questions. Have any of these franchises survived what has gone on for the past, I'm going to say, decade of destruction? Let's go down the list I started with. Doctor Who. When New Who came back in 2005, it was a glorious resurrection to something everybody thought was done, because original Doctor Who, it petered out. Classic Who just lost its charm, its magic, its mojo, and they just let it drop. It sat there for a bunch of years, and then in 2005, a man who we thought had integrity, a man who we thought had vision, Russell T Davies, resurrected it and gave us, for the next decade, glorious television. Brought back a great fun time for everybody to enjoy, made household names out of David Tennant and Matt Smith and good stuff like that. But here we are, it is 2025, and Russell T Davies, well, he handed over to Moffat, and Moffat did okay. But then Moffat lost his touch and handed over to Chris Chinball, we call him Chinballs, handed over to him, and he destroyed it. And then Russell T Davies signed off on the destruction. And now, here we are. We have the lowest rated Doctor Who's in 60 years for their overnights, and there are more people on the planet. This is sad and terrible, and I'm going to say it. Doctor Who has not survived. There's a hashtag out there, and Russell T Davies actually said it in an episode 2 weeks ago, which means we're in his head. R.I.P. Doctor Who. Doctor Who is done. It's over. There's no saving it. Even if they put it to bed, it would take the miracle of somebody with big-ass brass ones to say, I'm going to wipe out everything that Chinballs and RTD 2.0 did, and we're going back to Capaldi's regeneration and starting over from that moment. Either back up a big old dump truck to Mr. Peter Capaldi and give him one more season to do good.
I'm the Doctor, and I save people.
Or just have his regeneration be new. Somebody not Dr. Karen Jodie Whittaker. So R.I.P. Doctor Who. Doctor Who did not survive, and you know it hasn't survived because the fans have abandoned it. Real fans have abandoned it. You got morons who think Shooty Who is great. They're not fans, they're stans. And they will always cry the first things out of their mouth, you are all just too critical. Why are you crying? No, we're actually giving relevant reviews and pointing out all the bad. It's you're the one who's crying when you come into our chats, into our comment sections, and get triggered because we're dumping truth and you can't handle it. All right, so moving on. Star Trek. Original Gene Roddenberry Star Trek, which ended with Enterprise, which, even though I have my problems with Enterprise, it is still Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek hasn't survived either. It has not survived. Right now, on a weekly basis, I sit down with some friends for a show called Wormhole Watch on Duke Devil Bradley Burnett's channel, and we watch DS9. We watch an episode a week right now. A couple of our buddies there, Hitman, Fractured, they have not seen DS9. So both Brad and I sit through it, and we get to comment. We get their reactions fresh. We know what's coming. They don't.
But the most damning thing of all, I think I can live with it. And if I had to do it all over again, I would.
It's glorious. Real Gene Roddenberry Star Trek, out of this world, great. Knew how to tell great stories. Knew how to now beat people over the head with agenda. And what's happened? Well, it got turned into Kurtzman Trek. All started with JJ Trek, but then got turned into Kurtzman Trek, which is a train wreck and destroyed everything that we know about Star Trek. Terry Matalas for a moment, glimmer of hope, maybe a chance. But no, they ran him out of town. He's working for Disney MCU right now, and he's going to crap out some shit over there. So Star Trek did not survive. Did not survive. Now, we have what we have. We have hundreds of episodes of glorious television, some good movies, and just great memories that cannot be taken away from us. But it is done. It's over. Once again, same with Doctor Who, unless somebody comes out there and has big old brass ones and says everything that Kurtzman created out. We're picking up post-Voyager, new stuff. I'll just say it, post-Nemesis. And we're going to give new adventures. We're just going to jump a couple hundred years forward and tell new stories. Resurrected again. They had a chance to do Legacy, which everybody wanted. Everybody was on board, and they couldn't do it because Kurtzman cried because Terry Matalas got rave reviews. Everybody shat over what he did. So Star Trek is done. It has not survived the past decade of destruction. Up next, Star Wars, my one true franchise love. First generation fan, EU guy franchise closest to my heart. Star Wars ended in 2012. Real George Lucas Star Wars ended in 2012 when it was sold to Disney. Disney Star Wars has basically obliterated the goodwill people once had. For a moment, they got fooled with Force Awakens. For a moment, everybody thought, yeah, we're back, baby. But then one disaster after another. Bad storytelling, bad characters, agenda-driven crap, attacking the fans over and over and over again. Leading us all to this very moment where you look at Andor and they will claim it's the greatest thing ever. They will claim, it's the best Star Wars, this and that. Oh, I love watching it. It's so adult. It's so mature. No, it's not. It's ideologically driven trash made for low IQ morons, window-licking, drooling stands who see shock value writing and think, I get it because it's speaking to my politics. I'm smart. Everybody else is stupid. That's what it is. So much so. Now, we don't have any ratings yet for Andor, but Samba has done a little early tracking. Its first 6 days, 3-episode drop on one night. Its first 6 days, only 1.2 million across 6 days. That is pathetic. That is not a win. That is failure. The best Star Wars nobody's watching. It's bullshit. It's all garbage. And this is why Disney Star Wars is dead. It's done. There is no hope. Never was hope, frankly. I've always been on board. Long before I was a YouTuber, I always said Disney Star Wars will be a failure. And here I am right. Unfortunately, I have no receipts of that. It's a decade ago, but I was right. You'll just have to believe me. There's my evidence of what I think right there. Decades of purchases. Disney Star Wars made Star Wars not survive because we live in an era now where people are apathetic. They go out and see Revenge of the Sith re-release, and they go, man, I miss Star Wars. That's the catchphrase for the past week. People go have a good time watching Revenge of the Sith, and they say, man, I miss Star Wars. That should tell you something. When your stand base are politically driven and your real fans say, I miss Star Wars, that is all you need to know. Star Wars, to Disney Star Wars, it's done. As much as I love real Star Wars, I know there is like this much of a percentage chance it'll ever come back to the glory that it once was. So it's my job and your job to collect, protect, and preserve it. What's next? What did I mention next? Lord of the Rings. Now, I kind of threw it in there, even though Lord of the Rings kind of predates everything else when it was written. But we're talking about movies, television, that kind of stuff. Lord of the Rings. J.R.R. Tolkien. The foundation of all fantasy literature. Really, it is. Don't tell me it's not. It is. Lord of the Rings will survive. Rings of Power. A massive disaster. So much so, I did a video on it a few days ago. The shills are coming out and actually admitting how bad it is. saying all the shit we've been saying for years, but they criticized us as angry nerds and toxic men for this and that and racists, homophobes, all that shit. Now they have to admit it. It's terrible. But, because of what happened when Rings of Power first premiered, where Tolkien fans, as a united fan base, drew a line in the say, and said, "You shall not pass," they held the line and pushed back. Lord of the Rings is going to be fine. Tolkien, respect for Tolkien. Everything Tolkien did will remain intact and beloved. And because Rings of Power has been rejected from the beginning. All these other things I've mentioned, the door was opened, and the parasites, the cancerous parasites with their ideologically driven agendas were welcomed in for fear of being called names. And they poisoned it down to the root. But the Lord of the Rings fan base said, no, you shall not pass, you cannot enter. You will not speak friend and enter because you are not friends. Very simple thing. The fan base said no, the fans said no, so Lord of the Rings, Tolkien's world, Middle-earth will live on in all its glory because respect for Tolkien has meaning. Rings of Power, it's almost done. They got one more season in it, and I predict they'll pull the ripcord for seasons 4 and 5 because it is such a financial disaster, even for the likes of Amazon, who have all the money in the world. And I guess that brings us now to the MCU. You had 10 years of glory. 10 years of glory where you told a succinct story, you made great memories, everybody had a good time, got my nerd ass into a movie seat every single time. Well, not every single time, but 8 times out of 10. Here we are now 6 years, I can do math. 6 years since the end of Endgame. Thunderbolts comes out as I make this video in 2 days. Well, actually tomorrow. It's Thursday. It's tomorrow. Tonight's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Thunderbolts release, and it's going to shit the bed. Alongside shitting the bed with Black Falcon Captain America. Because it's just bad now. You can even take the agenda out of it, which you don't really need to, because it is part of it. It's in the DNA at this point. But it's all bad. It's just terrible. And it will lead up to the disaster that will be baby steps in July, and then the eventual mega failure that will be Doomsday next year. So no, the MCU will fail because they didn't understand why it was successful in the first place. Because you told succinct stories. You had a clear idea of what you were doing. You didn't try and force characters we didn't care about outside of Captain Marvel on us for majority of the first 3 phases of the MCU. But ever since then, it's one agenda-driven, race-oriented DEI crap after another to try and lecture us on why we should like these characters that are having mantles that belong to others, names that belong to others, adventures and stories that belong to others. But no, you need to shut up because you're a racist if you don't like it. MCU will not survive. It'll make the Doomsday. It might even make the Secret Wars. But then after that, because no one's hanging around for the butchery they're going to do for the X-Men. No, we know what the Fantastic Four looks like. We don't care whatever else they got done. They can bring back, recast all they want. They should have done that 6 years ago. And nobody would have blinked if you just kept telling the stories. But no, here they are. One last desperation gasp with Doomsday. If you believe everything that's coming out about the rumors right now, Doomsday will be a disaster because they are so afraid of having another repeat of Black Falcon and now Thunderbolts. So they are going to, I believe, just personal belief, no evidence whatsoever, whatever's going on right now in England as they begin filming Doomsday this week, they are going to be rewriting that script over and over and over again on the fly based upon fear, desperation, because they know they don't got the juice to squeeze anymore. So there it is. I've laid this out. I hope you guys can agree with me in what I'm saying, because we have all the evidence. Failures in movies, nobody's watching these shows, things that are completely irrelevant. There's no saving the majority of these franchises, which means, where do we go from here? Support your local independent creator. Support me. I have a whole world of adventures and stories I want to give you through novelizations, through books. But we got to get to a certain point where I and others like me can give it to you. We don't all have connections to get us out the gate to float us. No, we need your support. We need you guys to subscribe to our channels, like our videos, watch, leave comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us how excited you are. Tell us you like what we're doing. That's what the independent creator needs if they are not connected up the wazoo. There will be salvation with new franchises, new IPs, but it's going to come from the independent sphere. Western entertainment, done. Japan, they're their own thing. We leave anime and manga. That's a whole separate thing. I don't even count that. That's the East. I'm talking about Western entertainment right now. New stuff will come from people who are outside of Hollywood. People who do not require or need to inject modernity into their works. Anyway, I guess I'm done for now. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. Subscribe to me right here on YouTube. We hope to earn your trust and support using facts and logic, because facts and logic do not care about fake fans Stan and SJW Fifis. Thank you again for watching. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade, and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.